you actually caught me on a day where my hope is pretty low at the moment. My fire's burning out a little bit. It's a point of you need to always keep it going, and you need to fuel it no matter what. You do have the power to make changes and do have the power to do things better. You just need to believe in yourself in order to get that way. That little fire that you have inside that kind of burns no matter what.
Hi, I'm Kriya Gangiah, and I share hope.
Welcome to I Share Hope, the podcast where world leaders share their real stories of hope and how you can use actionable hope to start changing your life today. And now, here's your host, Chris Williams.
Hello, are you there?
Hi, Chris. Yes, I am. Sorry about that. I was having connection problems.
Hey, no problem at all. Not a problem at all. So are you in your studio? Because you're a DJ and a radio host as well, right?
Yeah, but no, I'm not in the studio at the moment, no.
Okay. Do you feel a little wrong talking on a computer without a good microphone?
No! No, not at all. It's I actually have a daytime job as well, so I'm pretty used to it.
Yeah, the not fancy stuff. That's great.
Yeah.
So do you have access to video call right now, or should we stick with audio? What's best for you?
Audio is going to be best. The connection's not amazingly fantastic, so I don't want to jeopardize it.
Yeah, good call there. Great.
Cool.
Well, let me just walk you through how this goes. I know your time is probably tight because you have a lot going on if you're doing a day job and DJing and everything else that your bio says you do. So did you get a chance to look at that interview 101 document with the 5 questions on there?
I did, yeah. I went through it a bit, yeah. But I did that before our interview last week, so
you're ready.
Yeah. Or
Good.
was the one that yeah.
Okay, you feeling better?
Still a little bit fluish, as you can hear, but I'm doing okay, yeah.
Okay, good. All right, so I will stick with those 5 questions pretty close to it. I may, ask a clarifying point here or there, but really this is about you, not about me. This is about as much as I'll talk during the whole thing. I just love to learn and listen, and our audience loves hearing the real stuff, the real stories, and how they can grow in hope and maybe help somebody else out. If they're not the one struggling, maybe somebody else who's got something going on, they can reach out and bring a little sunshine to them. So I'll fire away some questions and you give us some answers, and we just kind of roll through the interview that way. Does that work for you?
Cool, awesome. You lead and I'll follow.
Okay, that sounds easy enough. So make sure I get your name right. Just say your name and I'll try to make sure I nail it.
Okay, it's Kriya Gangiah.
Gangiah. Is that right?
Correct, yes.
Okay, and
yes.
Kriya like
Kriya.
Kriya. Okay. Am I getting
Kriya,
it?
like Priya, but with a K.
Got it. Kriya.
Yes.
Kriya Gangiah. Is that right on the last name? Gangiah. Kriya
Yes.
Gangiah.
Correct.
Okay, thanks. Well, Kriya Gangiah, thank you for joining us. This is really interesting because you've got a really, really diverse background. I'm reading part of your bio here, and you're a radio host, a DJ, a model, an athlete, a musician. You live in South Africa. You've been awarded colors on the national women's water polo team.
Yeah.
You just if you Google this girl's name, you're gonna find a crazy amount of really diverse stuff. So, Kriya, thanks for joining us. So, tell us a little about what you're doing. Are you in South Africa today? Before we get in our questions, just what's going on in your world?
Yeah, I'm in South Africa at the moment. I'm at my day job, so pretending to be a corporate fundi pretty much at the moment. Pretending is the key word in that sentence. It's winter for us at the moment, so it's freezing in South Africa, which is not the freezing that you're used to, but it's freezing for us pretty much.
Yeah,
so,
what does freezing mean? Like, how cold are you getting there?
Probably like about 16, 17 degrees.
That's not too bad. Yeah.
That's like your summer, right?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
so have you ever been to the US? Have you been able to travel this far out?
I haven't yet, but it is on my plan for this year. We're either going to do New York or Mexico. So It is a work in progress. We're getting there, yeah.
Exciting. Well, we've got friends around both areas that you're talking about. And so, seriously, shoot a message over if you're coming this way, and I'll see if we can find you somebody over there that would be a great tour guide. We got people all over the place. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's really nice. I've got a very cool group of friends who pretty much we work to travel. So all our savings and stuff like that goes to our end of year travels. And so far we've done some great countries. We've done quite a bit of Europe, Mauritius, Zanzibar, Greece, and now we're thinking of doing the US.
Oh, I'm jealous. That sounds great.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, when you work to travel, you need to work really hard because traveling from South Africa is not the cheapest thing in the world either. The rand isn't very strong against a lot of the foreign currencies. So for us, it's super expensive to travel.
Yeah, that makes sense. That is a tough spot to
Yeah.
convert from. Well, and you're not really drivable to anywhere. I mean, you kind of gotta get on an
No,
airplane.
not even a little.
Yeah.
And I mean, our flight to Mexico is something like 17 hours
Wow.
from South Africa to Cancun.
You know, I came to South Africa years ago for a couple of weeks, and it was I mean, obviously from America, it was a super long flight. It just was crazy long, but beautiful. Once you fly in, you see that coast and those rocks, just the cliffs coming into South Africa, and then it's just awesome. Love it.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, well, let me ask you these questions. So for anybody who's new listening, here's how this works. We're asking 1,000 people around the globe 5 questions about hope, kind of how they're using hope, what they believe about it, and how we can start changing our lives to live in a more hopeful way or bring hope to somebody else who may need a little more encouragement. So let me ask you these questions, Kriya. These are really, really simple. This is about you, not me. So, Kriya, question number 1 is, what is your definition of hope or your favorite quote about hope?
I think my definition about hope has got to be I wouldn't say definition, I wouldn't say quote. I would definitely rather go for definition because hope is different to a lot of people. And for me, I think hope is that little fire that you have inside that kind of burns no matter what. And if it goes out, it's a really sad thing and you need to keep it going. But it's that little fire that's inside that kind of just keeps you motivated, keeps you wanting to do more. And you actually caught me on a day where my hope is pretty low at the moment. My fire's burning out a little bit. But yeah, it's a point of you need to always keep it going and you need to fuel it no matter what, even in days like today when it's not at its strongest. You need to make sure that you can actually have the ability to motivate yourself to make sure that you can get it to its strongest again. It's never an easy process, and it's always easier to say than to actually execute. But it's just believing that things can get better, that you can get better, and believing in yourself. And you as an individual person, you do have the power to make changes and do have the power to do things better. You just need to believe in yourself in order to get that way. So yeah, I definitely say that would be hope for me. That's
a great way to put it. It's that little fire, keeping that little spark going. And I appreciate you saying that today's a lower day than some. You know, that's life. And so many times we talk to somebody here and it sounds like, wow, you're doing amazing. You've never had a bad day. But it really is. It comes and goes, and every day is different. You wake up and you roll into it. So with that definition, then question 2 is, who has shared the most hope with you? Who's given you that hope in the past that's really influenced you and moved you forward?
To be dead honest, it's every single person that you come in contact with. Some will give you more hope than others. But for me, particular people that it doesn't matter who you are, if you're a person that's in radio, if you're a person that's in business, if you're a person that's helping other people. The one group of people that I believe that'll always raise your hope is mentors. If you have a very good mentor and someone that's always there, it doesn't have to be a business mentor or someone who's in the same field as you. It can be an emotional mentor or a person that's always there just to kind of prop you up. No one's superheroes. No one's invincible. Everybody, like you said, has their good days, their bad days. It's just you need a very good support structure. So I think that for me is one person that definitely, or one group of people that you definitely need to kind of inspire hope in you, because it also gives you a vision to look up to for what you want to do. So if it's a business mentor, for example, they've gone through it, they've lived their paces, they know what you're going through now, and they can always help you get further. If it's an emotional mentor, it's someone that's there to say, listen, I agree with you, I don't agree with you, which is fine. If they don't agree with you, that can also help you see new things. I agree with you, I don't agree with you, but I'm here to back you up. So for example, I'm going to go see my sister-in-law later. So for me, she's going to be there. She's my emotional mentor, just to help you get your hope to its strongest point again.
Ah, that's good stuff. And ooh, that's good stuff. Just a practical note on mentors. If you don't have mentors and you're listening and thinking, but what in the world does that mean? It's really, really simple. So for me, and I'm sure many others listening, and Kriya, you too, the mentors can come in lots of areas of your life, like you just said, emotional or in your business or career life. I kind of think of my life and I break it down into sections. So I've got this emotional side of me, a spiritual side, being a dad or a husband,
Yeah.
or, in business, whatever I'm trying to do. I kind of get an area. The person doesn't have to be a super person in all of those areas. I just want to know, hey, there's somebody who's a couple of years ahead of me in this area of my career. Or, I've got 5 kids. The oldest is 14. I want to hang out with a dad who's got college age kids, just a little farther down the road.
Yeah.
And I literally start the relationship with, hey, I want you to be a mentor. Can I take you to lunch or buy you coffee once a month? And it works, because then I'm not just hanging out at a ball game. I'm actually going, we're intentional. We sit down and I say, here's what's going on in the past month. What would you do if you were in my shoes? It works.
Also, I think a point that has to be said is it doesn't always have to be somebody that's older than you, or
Right.
It's just someone that you can connect with on that level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really true. Age doesn't really make the difference. It's somebody you trust and somebody who you think can point you in the right direction. Yeah. Ooh, good stuff. Love it. All right. Question 3 is more about you and your background, your personal story, and taking us to a place, kind of painting that picture and a story of where have you been, and when was a time in your life when hope was really harder to hang on to? When did you really need that hope? What happened back there?
Okay, so I come from a very, like you said earlier, a very diverse background, and I started in my let's say my media career when I was about 17 years old. So always had mom and dad kind of supporting me. I could never drive to the radio station myself because I wasn't young enough. I wasn't old enough to have a license to drive yet. So mom and dad used to drop and pick me up for shows at 3 o'clock in the morning and take me back to campus at 7 o'clock the next morning. It's kind of I needed my mom and my dad at that stage, and my brother as well, who helped out quite a bit. So I started when I was 17, and I moved from a radio station to TV, and then from TV back into radio back into TV, and it was kind of just a cycle. And now I'm lucky enough to be doing both. And then in between, obviously, with my degree, my dad was like, "Listen, you need to get a little bit of experience under your belt, corporate-wise, just in case, come a couple of years down the line and you decide that you don't want to do media anymore," which happens.
Mm-hmm.
It happens to a lot of people, that you decide to change your career path, that you have a little bit of experience and something to fall back on, which I think if you're thinking of going into the media career, it's always a good thing to have. I'm not saying don't go in with 110% of your heart. I'm just saying always have a safety net, because you never know in this industry what can happen. In terms of where I needed hope the most, I think the first time I left TV, or the first time I actually left radio, let's start there, I didn't have another media career to go to. So my TV career was kind of coming to an end because I was getting a bit older for a youth program. Because I was being so involved with radio, because I was so involved with TV, my radio show started taking a bit of a knock as well. So that was a bit of a concern. And it just came to a point where I didn't have a corporate job. My media jobs were coming to an end, and I didn't really know what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just kind of that push to say, listen, this is what I want to do. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not changing anything. I'm not, I need to do something with my life. I need to go out there and get it. And it took a while. It took a couple of months. Then eventually I got lucky and I got a new TV job. I got a new radio job, and I got into corporate at the same time. So it was just that extra push that you needed to kind of, go out and get it. Even like I said, today is not the highest moment in hope time for me either, because um, we're looking at changing radio shows, and I don't know if what's going to happen to the radio show, what's going to happen to me, and what's going to happen for my future career. And when you're in this industry, I've been in this industry, this is my 9th year, and it doesn't get any easier. It doesn't get any easier when people are saying, listen, we're moving scheduling around and we don't know what we're going to do with you. And it's not a fact of being bad at your job, being not good for the radio station. It's just the show isn't a fit, and we need to find a way going forward where everything can work out smoothly for everyone. So it's moments like this that you have to kind of like put your head down and just keep motoring through it. Like Dory says in Finding Nemo, just keep swimming. Because if you don't just keep swimming, you crawl into a little ball and you eat ice cream on your couch, and you grow your beard if you're a guy, and you don't shave your legs if you're a girl, and nothing beneficial comes from that. So you need to just keep going.
That's a good point. So that's a lot of. Oh, by the way, I like eating ice cream sitting on my couch. So I'm gonna have to argue on that. But that's a really good description of a time when you're losing hope. So, you're not just saying, "Oh, it's hard on my career" or hard on the decision I have to make, but there's a lot of personal stuff in there that makes you feel like, is it me? Is it, am I doing something right or wrong, or do people like me? Particularly in media, it's kind of popularity driven, isn't it?
It is, and it's the worst thing. It's like being in high school all over again. And this is my life. Whether the cool kids like me or not, it's one of those things. I'm going to go through this for the rest of my life, and that's just the industry that I've picked. It does make you stronger over time. When I say time, it's 9 years, and I'm still not strong about it. But it'll come right eventually. But yeah, it's a personal thing, and we actually said to the guys in the meeting today, I'm like, you putting through everyone in this room that's having this discussion with you, you're putting us through 4 days of the worst time of our lives. Plus, you still want us to be happy-go-lucky on air, in public, and still go along with life as usual. But at the back end, it's a lot of emotion. It's the first time I've ever cried in a meeting as well. So it's one of those things that it just happens.
Yeah. Ooh, that's good. You're right, it does. It just happen, and there's nothing you can do about it, and it is hard to flip the switch and go back out there and put a smile on your face. Well, then how are you doing in sharing hope with other people? What do you do every day? I mean, in the boardroom, you have this hard conversation, and then you got to get back online, or you got to go back out in the street, and people are going to recognize you. How do you share hope with people, even if you're not having the best day?
I think it's one of my mentors actually told me this, and it's very pertinent to our industry, but I think it can be pulled across to everybody's lives. But specifically when I started in radio, he said, when you walk through the door of the radio station, if you're having the worst day in the entire world, and something's gone wrong, your dog's died, or you scratched your car, whatever the case is, use that to your advantage. So on radio, we can always turn it into a story. And if it doesn't work that way, you leave your baggage at the door, because nobody else cares. Everybody's so involved in their own lives that nobody else cares. And when I say that in an extent that it's like I said, it's two ways. You can either decide to not do anything about it and go along living your life like normal and happiness and entertain people, put smiles on their faces, which is in a way still spreading that hope and spreading that joy. Or you can decide to turn it into something positive or into a story. So take what's happening in your life and share it and develop it and explain, maybe not the actual details of it, but the situation, which even, for example, I'm doing it right now with you. Explain the situation, and other people can relate to that And from there, you can be like, okay, cool, but I'm doing this to develop myself and I'm doing this to change. And that's another way of doing it. So it just depends on how you pick and choose to live your life and to live your stories. You can either use it in a positive way to help people, listen, this is how I'm doing it. I know you're going through similar things, but here we can do it together. Or it's okay, we're still happy, we're still going, we're still getting there. I'll still put a smile on your face. So it just depends on you. Yeah.
That's a great skill. It really is. So you're saying in a time when things are hard, so I'm going to try to do this with a dog dying because that's just a really sad one. But so you could come in and mope around and just bring everybody else down on air, or if it's just your smaller work crew that you're with every day in the office, but you can be all down and sad and depressed and bring everybody with you, or you can be, oh man, the dog died, but I got to go to the shelter yesterday and love on some more animals, and I think I'm going to pick one out. And I got to walk the little lady next door, walk her dog, and it's such a great dog. You can kind of look forward and move.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly what I mean. So you don't want to make other people be. You don't want to transfer your negative vibe, your negative emotions. You want to kind of create that happy, entertaining type thing. Yeah. That's exactly what I'm trying to say.
Right. So for me, that would be my dog died and I was sitting on the couch depressed eating ice cream. But this new flavor of Rocky Road, it's amazing. You got to try this ice cream. So
exactly. There's always a rainbow at the end of everything, and there's always a silver lining on every cloud. Yeah.
Right. And for me, it involves ice cream. So
as long as you shave, Chris. As long as you shave.
No, I'm clean shaven with the bowl of ice cream. There you go. All right. So
then you're fine.
Okay, good. Question 5. Give me some simple steps as a person who's growing in hope and learning how to share hope with people. How do I do that? How do I start growing in hope personally or giving hope to somebody else? Simple ways.
I think it depends on the person. So for me, for example, I enjoy trying to give back as much as possible. So for my birthday, for example, every single year I do a fundraiser, and this year we managed to raise quite a lot of money for an animal shelter, and subsequently since then I've got offers from corporate companies that want to get involved with it, and charities that, even though they may not be supported by the specific event, but they want to partake in it, they want to be present. And I think that for me is something that's very special. I know a lot of people may not be able to actually, go out and do a massive, for example, we did a food and music festival. But it took me a good 4 years to develop this. And it started at my brother's restaurant, and everyone, instead of bringing gifts, could bring a can of dog food or a non-perishable can of food, whatever the case may be, into an actual food festival. So it's, it's little developments like that. I'm very lucky to have been able to do it this year. I mean, we raised the equivalent of about $2,000.
Wow.
Which in South African terms is just over 20,000 rand.
Wow.
Which is literally cleared the vet bill for the charity that we were working with. So things like that, and going from a little birthday party with 40 people to being able to do that is very special. And I think other ways, if you're not able to do something like that, is just a positive energy. I was chatting to one of my managers in corporate the other day, and he said our team's had a really, really rough time with clients and work at the moment, but having a positive energy in the room, for example, when someone's moaning and complaining about a client, and at the end of it I try and make a joke out of it, then everybody laughs, everyone feels a little bit better, and we go on with our day. I think that's a very important thing to do. So that's 2 steps. You can help no matter what, and try and create a positive vibe. You want 5, am I correct?
Oh no, you don't have to give 5. You want to go for 5 though, I'm in. Keep it coming if you got them written down.
Okay, let's go. Maybe we can go for one more. So positive vibe, and then I think in any way that you can help someone develop themselves and make them feel better. If you have a mentor and you're going in that way, be it the emotional one like we spoke earlier, or the business corporate one, career wise, try
as you further yourself, do that with somebody else. So have somebody that you can mentor, that can look up to you, and you can help get to the point in their lives that maybe you want to still get to. But at the same time, you're growing yourself, looking from where you came, how you developed to where you are, how you can develop going forward, and how to help that other person come up to where they want to be. I think that's also very important.
Boy, those are good. So you got the one that is just using an opportunity like your birthday or something else where you can give back and create something special for another group. And then you've got just really encouraging, being part of that funny office prank or a great good morning comment or something around you, just bringing a smile to somebody's face and your own every day. And paying it forward. That last one, paying it forward, not just soaking up from a mentor, but being a mentor for somebody else. Man.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Great.
There's a quote, I think it was from Gandhi, be the change you want to see in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think that's very important to remember.
That is really important to remember. Wow. Well, Kriya, how can we be in touch with you? So you've got social media, websites, all these things going on out there. Where do we follow and find out more of what you're doing?
Cool. So I'm on Facebook. It's Kriya G. So I'll just spell it for you. It's Kriyag. That's on Twitter. That's on Instagram. It's Kriya Gangiah on Facebook. So that's Kriya. Surname is Gangiah. And my website is kriyagangiah.co.za. And I'm always open to questions, to chat, to have a conversation. If you're in the media industry or you want to get into the media industry. I know I may not be able to help you in a different country, but the principles are still the same. So I can totally help out with that.
Yes, they are. Great. That is paying it forward right there. Well, let's take a quick break here. So this is going to be cut out of the interview, and this is you and me. We're going to cut this out of the interview so we can get a little quote from you on sharing hope. So here's how this interview works in a second. When we're airing the interview on the podcast, we'll find something in what you've just said with the 5 answers. And by the way, all of them are just fantastic. You're super well prepared and obviously not scared to talk to a crowd of people that you can't see. It's great talking to somebody who's used to yelling into a microphone. All right. So we're going to get a quote out of there, a snippet, put at the very beginning of the episode, and then we'll have you say your name and I share hope. So I'm Chris Williams, and I share hope is what I would be saying. Now, I'm going to be quiet here in a second, let you just record a few of those clips. So say your name and I share hope. Or you can say your name and maybe a little description about you or something else you want to say, and I share hope. Whatever you want to do, people just say their name or they say something about themselves. It's up to you. And we'll put it at the beginning. So let me hit mute, if that makes sense, and you can fire off one or two. Okay, thanks.
Cool. Hi, I'm Kriya Gangiah from South Africa, and I share hope. Let's go for another one. Hi, my name is Kriya Gangiah. I'm from South Africa. I work in the media industry as well as a couple of other industries, and I hope that this will help you share hope. Let's just do one more plain one. Hi, I'm Kriya Gangiah, and I share hope.
Brilliant.
Cool. Is that cool?
All of those are great. Yes. Thank you. That'll give us plenty to work with.
Awesome.
All right. So one or two more random questions.
Sure.
How in the world do you go from playing all these sports, even a chess club? I mean, you're really crazy diverse. So there's all these sports, chess club, music, and then you go into modeling as well. Now, I mean, I don't picture some of these sports like cricket being where the average model comes from, just because of I don't know. I'm not knocking cricket players or models. I'm just thinking they don't seem to be on the same line. How do you put all that together and actually make it work?
I was very lucky that my parents were very supportive in all my ideas. So if I wanted to play water polo, my dad was like, yes, go play water polo. We'll be at every game. I want to try out radio. Yes, I'll be there. My mom was actually a deportment coach when I was younger, which helped out a lot with the modeling. And I have great genes. My mom and my dad are beautiful people, and it just happened so that I got great genes as well.
So your mom's
So,
a deportment
yeah.
coach? What is a deportment coach?
So my mom, she's actually quite a few things at the moment, but deportment coach was she trained models and how do they do it in the US? Debs ball.
You
So
know,
someone who would train you for your Debs ball,
I
that would be
see.
my mom.
Okay, that makes sense. So like the thing you're going to wear and how you're going to walk and how you're going to all the ins and outs.
Yes.
Okay, deportment. I was thinking like leaving the country, getting deported.
Which fork to use, for
Got
example?
you. Yeah, the manners. I'm with you. Oh, it's
Yeah.
fascinating. Okay, now talk modeling for a second because there are a lot of younger females who listen to this show, and I've got 3 young girls myself, just getting into their teens, and the way you look is so important in their minds, and I know it is important. We don't need to sit on the couch and not shave. I get it, but what do you tell younger girls who are just getting started, and you're young yourself, but that early teenage stage, to be able to build their own self-worth in something besides the label and the way their hair looks when they walk into middle school or junior high?
Yeah. I think what's very important is when I was younger, I had braces. My dresses were longer than most dresses of the girls at school. My blazer was too big for me. I had curly hair and had no idea to tame my curly bush of a hair. And those are all the things that I think I embraced after a while. So it doesn't matter if you're the skinniest girl in the world, because I'm not. I don't have a six pack. I don't have, perfectly toned arms. I'm super tiny. I'm only 1.59 meters tall, so I'm very short.
Mhm.
And all of those things are not model requirements. But what comes across on camera is you're very confident. And I think that's the most important thing, is you need to say, cool, embrace what you have. So I do, for example, a lot of hair commercials because now I absolutely love my hair and I embrace my hair for being different, and I've learned how to manage it. I still have skewed teeth, so I don't smile in a lot of photos. But it's things like that. Like you need to find your differences. And trust me, when you're younger, it is not easy. When you're in high school, when you're going through the stages where girls are not the kindest people in the world either. I went to an all-girl high school. They're not kind, and it's hard to say this. I mean, it's easy to say this, but harder to execute. You need to just be who you are and be confident and happy with who you are. And trust me, it settles down when you get older. So don't worry if your dress is a little too long in comparison to the other girls, or you don't fit into your jackets. If you're confident enough, don't worry, people are going to start making jackets for you.
I love it. That's good advice. That really is.
Yeah.
Last question for you. Favorite artist, favorite song. If you've got to put something in your headphones and just kind of lift your spirits and get back rocking and rolling, what are you going to listen to?
Oh, anything I can sing along to. My music taste is so diverse, from hip hop to R&B to house music to I love a little Sam Smith, some John Legend. Michael Bublé for me is he's amazing.
Yeah.
It's anything that just gets you going. Like
Yeah.
I'll put on a Me and Mrs. Jones from Michael Bublé, and then I'll change it up with the brand new Sam Smith song and called Refresh, and it's just as long as you can sing. What's that song that they sing in White Chicks? Vanessa Carlton, 1,000 Miles. That song's always a goodie.
Awesome. Great suggestions. I'll put those on the show notes page. So everything that we're hearing we'll find at isharehope.com. There's links to so much of the info we're talking about today, and Kriya's information, her social media links, her website, and obviously some favorite songs there too. Can't thank you enough.
Yeah.
You've been so fun to talk to.
Thanks so much, Chris. It's a pleasure. I'm glad that I could help you share hope.
Oh, you really have. It's been really fun, and you've given some really good tips and good points. And particularly for the 3 young girls running around my house. I'd love to let them hear this whole thing, because you'd be a great example for them. A mentor for 30 minutes that they can listen to. What a great thing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Cool. So, bye.
Bye-bye.
You've just listened to I Share Hope. If you're ready to make a change, head to our website at isharehope.com and claim your free copy of the Top 10 Actions of Hope from World Leaders to use hope in your own life. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.
Not at all. It's I actually have a daytime job as well, so I'm pretty used to it.
Yeah, the not fancy stuff. That's great.
Yeah.
So do you have access to video call right now, or should we stick with audio? What's best for you?
Audio is going to be best. The connection's not amazingly fantastic, so I don't want to jeopardize it.
Yeah, good call there. Great.
Cool.
Well, let me just walk you through how this goes. I know your time is probably tight because you have a lot going on if you're doing a day job and DJing and everything else that your bio says you do. So did you get a chance to look at that interview 101 document with the 5 questions on there?
I did, yeah. I went through it a bit, yeah. But I did that before our interview last week, so
you're ready?
Yeah. Or
Good.
was the one that, yeah.
Okay, you feeling better?
Still a little bit fluish, as you can hear, but I'm doing okay, yeah.
Okay, good. All right, so I will stick with those 5 questions pretty close to it. I may, ask a clarifying point here or there, but really this is about you, not about me. This is about as much as I'll talk during the whole thing. I just love you're a radio host, a DJ, a model, an athlete, a musician. You live in South Africa. You've been awarded colors on the national women's water polo team.
Yeah.
You just if you Google this girl's name, you're gonna find a crazy amount of really diverse stuff. So, Kriya, thanks for joining us. So, tell us a little about what you're doing. Are you in South Africa today? Before we get in our questions, just what's going on in your world?
Yeah, I'm in South Africa at the moment. I'm at my day job, so pretending to be a corporate fundie pretty much at the moment. Pretending is the key word in that sentence. It's winter for us at the moment, so it's freezing in South Africa, which is not the freezing that you're used to, but it's freezing for us pretty much.
Yeah,
So,
what does freezing mean? Like, how cold are you getting there?
probably like about 16, 17 degrees.
That's not too bad. Yeah.
That's like your summer, right?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
so
so-
have you ever been to the U.S.? Have you been able to travel to learn and listen? And our audience loves hearing the real stuff, the real stories, and how they can grow in hope and maybe help somebody else out. If they're not the one struggling, maybe somebody else who's got something going on, they can reach out and bring a little sunshine to them. So I'll fire away some questions and you give us some answers, and we just kind of roll through the interview that way. Does that work for you?
Cool, awesome. You lead and I'll follow.
Okay, that sounds easy enough. So make sure I get your name right. Just say your name and I'll try to make sure I nail it.
Okay, it's Kriya Gangiah.
Gangiah. Is that right?
Correct, yes.
Okay, and
Yes.
Korea, like
Kriya.
Kriya. Okay, am I getting
Kriya,
it?
like Priya, but with a K.
Got it. Kriya.
Yes.
Kriya Gangiah. Is that right on the last name?
Gangiah.
Gangiah. Kriya
Yes,
Gangiah.
correct.
Okay, thanks. Well, Kriya Gangiah, thank you for joining us. This is really interesting because you've got a really, really diverse background. I'm reading part of your bio here, and
You actually caught me on a day where my hope is pretty low at the moment. My fire's burning out a little bit. It's a point of you need to always keep it going, and you need to fuel it no matter what. You do have the power to make changes and do have the power to do things better. You just need to believe in yourself in order to get that way. That little fire that you have inside that kind of burns no matter what.
Hi, I'm Kriya Gangiah, and I share hope.
Welcome to I Share Hope, the podcast where world leaders share their real stories of hope and how you can use actionable hope to start changing your life today. And now, here's your host, Chris Williams.
hello, are you there?
Hi, Chris. Yes, I am. Sorry about that. I was having connection problems.
Hey, no problem at all. Not a problem
Cool.
at all. So are you in your studio? Because you're a DJ and a radio host as well, right?
Yeah, but no, I'm not in the studio at the moment. No.
Okay. Do you feel a little wrong talking on a computer without a good microphone?
No. No.
Well, this far out?
I haven't yet, but it is on my plan for this year. We're either going to do New York or Mexico, so it is a work in progress. We're getting there, yeah.
Exciting. Well, we've got
I've
friends
been
around both areas that you're talking about, and so seriously, shoot a message over if you're coming this way, and I'll see if we can find you somebody over there that
awesome.
would
Great, yeah.
be a great tour guide. We got people all over the place. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's really nice. I've got a very cool group of friends who pretty much we work to travel. So all our savings and stuff like that goes to our end of year travels. And so far we've done some great countries. We've done quite a bit of Europe, Mauritius, Zanzibar, Greece, and now we're thinking of doing the US.
Oh, I'm jealous. That sounds great.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, when you work to travel, you need to work really hard because traveling from South Africa is not the cheapest thing in the world either. The rand isn't very strong against a lot of the foreign currencies. So for us, it's super expensive to travel.
Yeah, that makes sense. That is a tough spot to
Yeah.
convert from. Well, and you're not really drivable